Ani, Bojo, Kwekwe, Tanzi, Scano, hi. It's Catherine and Brian at Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario with your full moon reading, actually, of Talks with Relations for January 13th through to the 19th. And we're still using the same decks as last week. I will post a photo of the decks on all the socials so that you are reminded of them, but you can also look up last week's readings. It's still on the theme of evaluating the concept of loneliness and being alone and the necessary elements of what alone time gives us in terms of not just ruminating and introspection, but in clearing away the detritus that accumulates in the shadowy corners of our souls. So we're still dealing with images that discuss reflection. Now, when setting up this reading, it's more cards than normal, so I'm going to get right at it. But know that there is continuity. You can always take a screenshot, and when you're listening and reviewing what I'm saying, it helps to see the imagery. The imagery is, a lot of it is Odilon Redden's work, and it's quite lovely. Anyway, Brian, let's get to the cards. So here we have the Page of Swords. So fast communication, a lot of movement, a lot of intellectual movement, quick minds, quick thinking, but a lot of communication. And it's, because it's a page, it is with the enthusiasm of a young one, but not necessarily the well thought out maturity. So we need to be careful with our words and take a moment to think them through. The card that clarifies it is also from this tarot. There were a number of oracle cards that the author added in, and this one popped up. And there's an element here of searching, and it's searching at high speed, given that it's this page moving very quickly. Searching, this water element is emotions, and looking upwards is searching not just in this dimension, but in other dimensions as well, for support in the words we need to say, the communications. This is emails, this is everything, phone calls, whatever. This is a lot of quick communication and thinking on our feet, but that doesn't stop us from taking a breath and seeking support from the beyond. The next card is the Wheel of Fortune, and this is it might happen well and it might not happen well, but it all depends on our choices and our actions. It's clarified here by the Lover's card, which is a major arcana card. And while, yes, this can be a significant other, it can also be the element of choice, just generally speaking, as opposed to being a relationship thing. It's about the choices, being very careful about the choices that we make and really loving the choices that we make and not making a choice based on pressure that's external or somebody else's idea of what's right for us. We move past the Wheel of Fortune to the Nine of Swords. A lot of swords last week. The trifecta is this week. So we had the 8 and the 10 and the 6 last time. Now we have the 9. So this is a lot of internal distress, the kind that keeps one awake at night. The angst that just overrides everything, nothing else when we're in this state, but it's the coming to an end. Something is coming to an end that reflects mental distress. The clarifier here is probably the best card that could ever have been pulled for this. It's the card 33. Your soul knows. Your soul knows what's going to bring peace here to this state of anxiety. It's unnecessary. The soul knows what the choices need to be. A card, an oracle card from this tarot that came through here is obligation. And it's somebody's head being cut off. I suspect that's John the Baptist's head being presented to the Queen there when she asked for it. But the obligation is doing something quite, or feeling that you have to do something quite extreme. Cutting somebody's head off is an extreme example here, but going to such lengths in order to satisfy other people. You don't have to. The only person that should be influencing you is your own soul, your own higher self, so you can let the anxieties go. When we do let the anxieties go, and this is a collective process, we end up with the Nine of Pentacles, the feeling of everything, having everything. Two nines here, very different places to be in mentally. This is the, yes, I do have everything, and I can do everything, and I can make those choices. The card that goes with it is nature. The expanse of nature is as brutal as some parts of Canada are right now. If you're in the northern hemisphere, other parts of the northern hemisphere, as brutal as the weather is, we do need to still connect with nature. We cannot separate ourselves as if we don't belong to nature. We are of nature. We're all the same molecules, all the same chemistry, all the same crystals grow within us. A way to reconnect. It's sitting right here beside this soul card, and she's looking at it. Yeah, we need to make sure that we have the balance of getting out and getting some fresh air and having a little walk. Following the Nine of Pentacles, this is a really up and down reading here. The Wheel of Fortune shows us that this up and down, feeling up. And this Five of Pentacles is feeling disconnected, deeply disconnected from community. And that can feel sad, but sometimes there isn't a person on the planet who doesn't ever feel that more than once in a lifetime. Sometimes we have to be disconnected. And maybe what these people are doing, what we have to evaluate is maybe what these people are doing that we're disconnected from, or we feel shunned by or left out. Maybe what they are doing isn't for us. The fact that this has a spiritually suggestive portal could be our own doing. It's our own thoughts, the squirrel cage there that we have in our head that makes us feel we are separated when in fact we are not. It's clarified by when all seems ended. We can't start something new until we have to let go the thoughts, we have to let go the circumstances. We fly free when we've let go of things that have ended, and that's important. What can hold us into place of the memory that was, but it's in the past. And I think of the Buddhist teaching around the fact that when something is in the past, it doesn't exist anymore. So none of this exists. We need to move on from that and let it go. We need to let go these dire obligations that can really suck the life out of us, literally and figuratively. All we need to focus on is us. And I come back to this, our soul knows. So when we've come back up the sine wave here, and we're at the Eight of Wands. This is, once you've remembered your passion here, we need to go hard, go fast. Don't worry. We're going to have the energy and the passion of the fire, this fire sign here, to move us through when we get our head. It's like spiritual narcolepsy, like we've forgotten for a few minutes what it is we're supposed to be and supposed to do. And sure enough, this is the sign that we've woken up from the melancholy. What will spark this is the inward initiation. Nobody else has to initiate us. If we join some sort of secret society or group or church or anything like that, we have to go through, hurdles to show that we are worthy of being initiated into the higher levels. No, this is a self-initiation. We know, our soul knows, we just spend some time working on us and we get the prize. These two cards came out simultaneously and I asked Brian to dowse. This is why this is a longer reading. And it's both the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles. Again, the fire signs. There's their horses. This is the energy of the movement forward. And so the Knight has all the power and all the capacity to make things happen. And what's interesting, it's clarified by the Conquest card. So we are, it's interesting that this person is half horse, half human. They're stomping on a snake. We are going to win this. We are going to get rid of the things which slither into our brains and cause us to be paralyzed with fear. But when I asked Spirit, why two cards like this pulling out? Was it a mistake? No, I asked Brian to dowse, just to double check. We need to come at what we're doing here. Once we start to actually kick our butts into action, we need to have some of the innocence and the new perspective of the page, because this is still the fire element. This is still passionate, where the Knight has all the experience and has seen and done and knows what to do. The page is still testing the waters and may bring a new perspective back to the Knight, especially if the Knight is a little bit jaded or stuck in a rut. So we need to have both the youthful interest as well as the more senior experience here. And the card that clarifies the page is the Burnt Snag. And that's an interesting card. This is from the Bloodlands Oracle, sorry. The Burnt Snag, I'm just going to read that to you, is endurance, transcendence, and sacrifice. So we do have to give up some things, including old ways of thinking, in order to move forward. That's the sacrifice. A burnt snag is the remnant trunk of a tree taken by fire. Its original life is gone, but the tree is still very much alive in new ways. It is a home to nesting birds and small mammals. Its ashes enrich the soil around it, and even the loss of its crown lets more light into the forest for young saplings to grow. This card asks us to see the new ways we can find meaning and thrive in the wake of great loss or pending change. That's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. And I asked if there was any extension to the astrological aspects of last week, which just went out of my head. Capricorn into April. And this is Leo, so this is into May, from the end of May into, or the end of April into May. And, sorry, this isn't, it was Taurus. It was Capricorn to Taurus last week. I'll get this right yet. So that's a very short window, and it's the Capricorn we're already been in and about to leave by the end of this reading, and it was Taurus. And they're saying that yes, things that we hop into here extend some timing into the time of Leo, which is the last week of July into the last week of August. And so the key word here is creativity. So between last week and this week's reading, we're going from a period of right now in Capricorn up till August in the summer. You can flip the camera, Brian. So that was a weird reading to pull out because I'm used to the way I do things, but you know, we have to be open to change and changing up the protocol. If I had been rigid and not pulled these extra cards, it would have taken away the icing on the cake, as it were. It would have been much more bland and not nearly as enriched and helpful a reading. Anyway, as always, we thank you for being with us, and I hope that by the time this airs that there will be the ritual workshop that I've promised. I had some medical issues over the holidays, so that slowed me down. But we'll get there, and it's a lifelong workshop. So what you learn, whether you learn it at the beginning of January or the end of January, will work for the whole year and will work for a lifetime. So we thank you for your donations toward the coffee. We thank you for your comments. They're really helpful with the algorithm on YouTube. We offer you blessings and we wish you peace. Aho.